Hi everyone, today we're going to check out Luke chapter 16 verse 19, which is the rich man and the man who begged for food. There was a rich man who dressed in purple linen clothes every day. He lived like a king and would live with the best of food. There was a poor man named Lazarus who had many bad sores. He was put by the door of the rich man. He wanted the pieces of food that fell from the table of the rich man. Even the dogs came and licked his wounds. The poor man who asked for food died. He was taken by the angels into the arms of Abraham. The rich man also died and was buried. In hell, the rich man was in much pain. He looked up and saw Abraham far away and Lazarus beside him. He cried out and said, "Father Abraham, take pity on me. Send Lazarus. Tell him to put the end of his finger in water to cool my tongue. I am in much pain and fire." Abraham said, "My son, do not forget that when you were living, you had your good things. Lazarus had bad things. Now he is well cared for, and you are in pain. And more than all of this, there is a big, deep place between us. No one can come from here and go there. Even if he wanted to go, no one can even come from there." Then the rich man said, "Father, then I beg you to send Lazarus to my father's house. I have 5 brothers. Let him tell them of these things, or they will come to this place of much pain also." Abraham said, "They will have the writings of Moses and of the early preachers. Let them hear what they say." But the rich man said, "No, Father Abraham, if someone goes to them from the dead, they will be sorry for their sins and turn from them." Abraham said to him, "If they do not listen to Moses and to the early preachers, they will not listen even if someone is raised from the dead." So this is a rich man that had purple fine linen clothing. He had the best food, the best clothes, he lived in the best house, and he had a really good life on the earth. But when he died and he didn't know God and he didn't know anything like that, he wasn't spiritual, he went to a place called hell. And some people that don't want to believe everything in the Bible and they don't believe in hell, regardless of whether or not you believe in hell, doesn't mean it does not exist. Okay? So you can say, "I don't believe in hell." That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, and it's not a place that anybody could potentially go. And the reason this is talking about the poor man that believed in God, he went to the arms of Abraham, that is because Jesus had not died yet for our sins, and Abraham was, so everyone that died, that believed in God before Jesus died, were in the arms of Abraham. And then once Jesus died for all of us, they were in heaven. So it's kind of like an in-between place. But it is the same as heaven. And when he was in hell, he said he's in much pain. I'm in the New Living Translation, New Life Version, but I've heard pastors say that it is torment and fire and it's burning. But yeah, my translation just says pain and fire. But he wants Lazarus that he didn't care for. He wants him to dip the tip of his finger in water to cool his tongue. And that's how painful and how horrible hell is. This is Jesus talking in the Bible. So this is the parable of what Jesus said. And Jesus actually talked about hell more than heaven in the Bible. So, and then the next thing in verse 27, he said, he was saying he has 5 brothers, and to tell them to, tell them the law of Moses. And, excuse me, Abraham said, the last verse 31, Abraham said to him, if they do not listen to Moses and to the early preachers, they will not listen, even if someone is raised from the dead. And that's what Jesus did. He did raise someone from the dead. So that is a forward kind of talking about how that's going to happen. And there's many people that even after he raised, this is a different Lazarus that he raised from the dead, because the poor man Lazarus is somebody else. That was a very common name back then, but he raised Lazarus from the dead, and many people believed in the Bible, and then some people did not, even when they saw the miracle happen. So, I have heard a thing like when we are saved and we know that Jesus died for all of our sins, and we do have that place in heaven, and we are written into the book of life. It's kind of like we need to step up and tell people about our faith, as hard as it is. I got a tickle in my throat. Excuse me. But I've heard an example, like once we're saved and you're driving, like would you get in your car and when you drive down the street, drive to your home, and you see like your neighbor's house is on fire, totally on fire, engulfed in flames, would you just keep driving and then drive into your driveway, get out of your car, go eat a ham sandwich and say, I hope they do something about that house. I hope somebody calls, or I hope they're okay. You know, I just, yeah. Hope the fire dies down. Hope it doesn't, catch the whole woods on fire. You probably wouldn't. You probably would immediately grab the phone and call 911 and help your neighbor. And that's the same thing as telling people your faith. Saying, hey, this is what I believe in. There is a heaven and there is a hell. And I know exactly how to get to heaven. And I know that the road to hell is wide and many people will go that way. But the path to heaven is narrow, and that involves giving your life to Jesus Christ. So that is, in a nutshell, the little parable about hell in the Bible, spoken from Jesus. And if I were you, I would go to YouTube, because I've watched this like 2 times already. It's Pastor Robert Morris, and he has a 6-part series about hell. And he goes into this verse, and he knows a lot more than me. So check out that video. I'll probably link it below this one. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Be blessed.